Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the SchuZ Show. If you guys are having a phenomenally blessed Monday, to kick off today's show, I've got a very special guest joining me. He was on the show before a couple different times. Most recently, though, was 5 years ago, before he was even committed to Iowa State. Now he's a Cyclone, already becoming a Cyclone legend. That's none other than two-time All Big 12 selection, Tamin Lipsey. Tamin, appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So as I just said, man, it's been quite some time. You've gone through a lot of different stuff in your life, one of which is becoming obviously a great player at Iowa State. Secondly, though, obviously most recently you just talked about backstage, married for a month now. How's it feel, man?
Oh, it's awesome. It's yeah, like you said, it's a month today, so it's just been a learning process, but it's the love of my life, and it's been a great month so far, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Now, I just have to ask, in terms of balancing all these things, we think about professional athletes, sometimes they have to deal with these things, but you're going through school as well. So now you're a husband, you're obviously going through school, and you're trying to work on becoming one of the best point guards in all the country. How do you balance life?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not easy. There's ups and downs, and it's life. Things get thrown at you, and you kind of just have to figure out how to handle it. But um, having a wife now, it's been awesome. She's just there whenever I go home after basketball, done with class, and it's kind of a good reset for me to just really think about what this life is about and all of that. And yeah, it's not easy with school and basketball, and like you said, just got married, and there's been a lot on the table in the last couple months, and but it's just, I mean, you have the opportunity to wake up every day and live your life. So that's what's most important.
So I want to ask you about something else. As a fellow believer, I know we've talked about this before when you were on the show, and that is your faith. And a couple different cool things I saw from your post about your wedding. You guys obviously involve Christ a lot in it, which I love that about you guys. And so I want to ask about your faith, man, 'cause I know I've seen that continue to flourish and grow over the time. And so just walk me through that aspect. How has your faith with God grown, and where are you guys stand right now with your walk with Him?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. I love to share about my faith, and um, I just give all the glory to God in every circumstance, every point in my life.
Hmm.
It's all glory to Him. He gives me the abilities that I have with basketball and with school and the family that I have. It's all glory to Him, and He's been a big role in my life, obviously. And expressing that and sharing that with people is super important to me as well. That's why I'm glad that you asked about that. And anytime I get a chance to share about it, it's awesome because in life you go through ups and downs, but when God's on your side, it's really not so bad. Um, I feel like my relationship with Him has grown enormously in the past couple of years. Um, I feel like it went from in high school to just being a sort of surface level relationship to really seeing my relationship with Christ grow a lot in the past couple of years. And that's also a big shout out to my wife Samantha. We take that super seriously and dive into the Word and go to church and make that the priority in our lives. And then everything else just kind of handles itself after that.
You said the most recently, in the last couple of years, you're really taking that next step of faith. What kind of caused that shift? Obviously, that always happens for somebody where it goes from, parental kind of guidance in your life to actually becoming your own relationship with Jesus. When did that really start for yourself?
I think it just has to do with maturing, getting older, going through life, and um, going through different things in life, and realizing that life's going to happen, but God's there for you at all times, no matter if life's hard or if it's going great. Um, and I feel like I've really realized that in the last couple of years, just living on my own, being in college, not having like your parents to help influence with your life and all of that. So just realizing that, and obviously going through injuries and stuff relating it to sports, you kind of always wonder why me, why did this happen?
Hmm.
But I've really had the mindset that God has a plan for us all, and everything happens. So I don't see myself getting down and getting super emotional. I feel like I'm a pretty consistent, level-headed person, and that's just because I put all my trust in God. And I know that if I put the work in, He's obviously got His plan for me already set out. So I just go out there and do what I love.
Last time when we talked, it was right when you just got finished tearing your ACL and you're kind of starting to work your way back into basketball. Obviously, I know you talk about injuries. That obviously was a massive one for your life. I know that. Then obviously, even just go through it. Obviously, it wasn't to the significance of the ACL. We still had shoulder. You had nagging injuries you went through last year. As you've gone through these things and you reflect over the past 3, 4, 5 years, where would you say has been the biggest moment that you've really had to cling to God and really cling to Him to be your strength?
Yeah, I'd say the first time was definitely my ACL. Just being out for 10 months, that was super hard. The first time I had to miss, obviously, I was playing multiple sports at that time in high school. So just missing everything basically for a whole year, that was not easy at all. But I'd say recently, especially last year, um, I mean, I played all the games, which is, I'm glad I was still able to do that. But
Right.
I had a shoulder problem early in the year. Ended up breaking my thumb sort of in the middle of the year, and just played through that. And then at the end of the year in the tournament, had a groin problem. So it was tough last year with just like you said, the nagging injuries all year long, which didn't really allow me to play to the level that I wanted to play at last year. But I'd say um, it didn't really affect me as much last year as it did in the past because just having that faith in God. And one of the stories I like to share about just being really closer with God and trusting Him is just in the past year. In basketball, you have bad games and
Right.
you get down on yourself and all of that. But I think I had a game where I scored maybe 1 point, didn't perform how I wanted to perform. But I wasn't as sad or upset with myself because I know that basketball doesn't define me.
Mhm.
Does define me as a person, and God, my true value is in God. So that's something that I like to share as well.
I love that. Well, I could obviously talk about this for a long time, but I do have one final question I want to ask you in regards to this, man. And that is just you are outspoken about your faith. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I love talking about faith and all those aspects. And for yourself, though, some people, there's a lot of people that are believers. Not a lot of people have the confidence and the strength to want to go out there and proclaim it and let the whole world know as you're doing right now. So why? What would be your answer if I asked you right now, why are you so bold in your faith? Why do you want others to get to know and follow Jesus? Why are you bold in how you approach that conversation? How would you answer that?
I think it's just having comfort in my relationship. I think that's the most important thing to start is just knowing that your relationship is God with God is strong because that gives you the ability to share with others and not be afraid to do so. Um, and I feel like I've grown in that aspect a lot in the past couple years.
Mhm.
Just going, we have Salt Company at Iowa State is like our college ministry, and that's something that's super amazing. It's grown so much in the past couple of years, and they do a great job of reaching out to Iowa State students. And I just like being there, and people come up to me, and obviously I play basketball for Iowa State, so sometimes want to take pictures and just meet me. But I just like to go there because I realize that we're all humans, and the bigger meaning is God. And going there, it really brings me back down to earth, and that's something that's super awesome. And I also have these wristbands that I wear every day. One of them says "I'm second," and then the
Mhm.
other one says "God is first." So saw those around a lot in the past couple of years, so decided to rock those as well. Just so if I'm walking by someone, they can just see that and they know just from that. I don't even have to speak to them. I
Right.
think that's something that's super cool as well.
I love that, man. Well, listen, I know we could obviously get into this for a very long time, but I want
Mhm.
people to get to know your journey as well and see how God has obviously worked in your life to get to where you're at. And so I kind of want to pick off where we left off last time. I said you were coming back from this ACL. Obviously, you bounced back, but that's still a very difficult injury to return from. And as you went through this process, you get to the recruiting standpoint, you still have a lot of offers on the table. My opinion, even going back then, I found a couple of tweets I had. You were very underrated. 3-star recruit. I'm still shocked by that. Obviously, you remember Team USA, all these different aspects. But I want to ask you how you felt in this situation because I know for high school guys, even when you look back at it, may not matter too much, but it matters at the moment. You want to be highly ranked, you want to be a 5-star All American, so on and so forth. How are you dealing with all those things in the back half of your high school career?
Yeah, I'd say it definitely was a little difficult. You obviously want to be highly known and highly recruited and all of that. That's your goal in high school is to be seen. Um, but obviously, it doesn't mean everything, as we can
Yeah.
see, as the position I am today. But Just going back to that, coming off of the ACL, like you said, a lot of people sort of kind of forgot about me because missing that whole next year. And the previous year, like you said, I was with USA Basketball, and that was amazing.
Mhm.
Some of those teammates I had are obviously in the NBA and all the
Yeah,
other great college athletes. So I feel like I was sort of just with that at that same level as them. And then the injury happened, and I kind of got overlooked and kind of forgot about a little bit. And then obviously Iowa isn't known as one of those big states. It's one of
right.
those states where it's like every once in a while there's going to be good players. So
Yeah.
that's another factor, just where you are and um, not playing on the circuit. As I got older in high school, I played on the Adidas circuit with D1 Minnesota for my last 2 years. So that was
Mhm.
good to get out and get more exposure and stuff. But yeah, being underlooked is not ideal for everyone. Obviously, you want to have the highlight reels and be a 5 star, and that's what
Mhm.
kids dream about. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as
Yep.
we see is where I am now. So.
As you just said, you said it perfectly. And I've always been a big advocate that says, you know what, the rankings are the rankings, but they're not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Too many guys that are 5 stars do not pan out. Too many guys that are not 5 stars pan out. And so obviously you're one of
Mhm.
those success stories. However, like you said, you do know that for those high school kids right now, it is difficult. And there's going to be another Tamin Lipsey. There's going to be many more of them in the future. What's your advice to them? Those guys that are, known to a certain extent, have some D1 offers or 3, 4 stars, whatever it might be, 2 stars, but they believe in themselves, but they're just not getting the overall accolades they probably deserve. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, um, I'd say it's having a chip on your shoulder is something that it can't be taught. So those guys that are highly recruited and highly sought after, sometimes they do have a chip on their shoulder still
Yeah,
with certain circumstances and how they grew up and stuff. But sometimes they feel like they're more entitled to certain things. So being underlooked, being underrated, being a 2 star, 3 star, whatever it is, unranked. I feel like just having that chip on your shoulder is extra motivation, and that's something that I feel like our program kind of at Iowa State is sort of about. It's just about
yeah.
working harder than other people, sort of having that chip on your shoulder that you were overlooked by some people. But I'd say just like you said, believing in yourself. That believing in yourself is super important. That's the first step, and then just going out there and working for it. Work ethic is something that is super important, and it definitely transitions to the college level.
All right. How about for yourself personally? What you believe? Did you still think that those junior senior years that you were going to have the type of career that you had now? That you should have been, at least when we look back at it, you should have probably been a top 30 whatever player. I don't know exactly who's all in that class, but you probably should have been in that top group. Did you believe in yourself that you deserved to be there, or has what's happened over the past 3 4 years really shocked you?
I'd say um, it hasn't shocked me
Mhm.
what I've done in the past years. I know my ability. I always believed in myself, and had a great family with me that always just told me to keep going. Um, but like you said, there's great players in my class that obviously rankings come out, and I feel like I definitely could have been at the top. I feel like I said earlier, being in Iowa and playing Iowa high school basketball
Right.
definitely plays a factor in that. But some guys go to those schools that play on the national circuit and all of
Mhm.
that. But I just wanted to stay at home. I had opportunities to go and see places and do that, but I just wanted to sort of be that hometown guy and bring a state championship to Ames, and was able to do that in my senior year. So that was one of my goals, and that's why I just stuck around and knew that whatever panned out was going to pan out for me. Besides all the rankings and things.
All right, so let's hop into your recruiting process. When you are going through this, Iowa State obviously is on the table, as we know. You have Minnesota and Nebraska. I think those are kind of the final three schools that really came down for yourself there. Walk us through that. Was Iowa State always going to be the school, regardless of what happens, you knew you wanted to go play for? Was it actually a tough recruiting process, or how did you come to the conclusion that you wanted to be a Cyclone?
Yeah, growing up in Ames, being around Iowa State, it was going to be tough to not have me not go to Iowa State.
Hmm.
Luckily, it was a great fit with TJ getting the job, and that was sort of a gray area where he got the job, and I didn't know what was going to happen, new coaching staff, and all of that. But a day or two after, he called me and reoffered me and made me realize that he wanted me there. So that was super important. But just as a kid, I dreamed of playing for Iowa State, so that's why I say it would have been tough for me not to go there. But obviously, I still wanted to go through the recruiting process and go visit other schools and have that because that's also super cool. And you never know if you go and visit someplace that could be the right fit. So
Mm-hmm.
um, that always happens as well. But I think when I ended up committing, it was actually just Iowa State and Nebraska. I think it was Ben Johnson at Minnesota.
Right.
Um, he had gotten the job, and then it was just sort of Iowa State and Nebraska. Fred, obviously, I knew him pretty well at Nebraska, so it was those two. And then I committed before, like the live period of that last year. So
Mm-hmm.
a little early, some people said, but I just knew it was the right fit with TJ and the other coaches and the culture, and being able to stay home was important as well.
I have to imagine that part of the pitch TJ had for you was, hey, we're going to rebuild this program. Now, obviously, that's probably a pretty big thing saying, okay, well, what's your track record? Can you actually do this? So on and so forth. Obviously, you guys have done quite a well job of rebuilding this program. But when you talk about that moment, and he kind of has to have some form of pitch, I have to imagine, of saying, hey, we've got quite a bit of job on our hands right now, but we're going to rebuild this and make it one of the powerhouses in the Big 12 as we once were before. And now you guys have done that. What was your thoughts and how excited were you to say, you know what? I do have this opportunity to get the Cyclones back to where they were in the Hoiberg days and, however many years ago before.
Yeah, I was super excited for that aspect of just you're kind of starting from ground zero,
Hmm.
and I was coming in and being one of those guys that can help rebuild the program. I thought that was super cool, and it's sort of like another chip on the shoulder thing after going 2-22 or whatever it was the previous year,
Right.
and then TJ got the job and they had a great year. Then I came in the next year and was able to do great things as well my freshman year and. Just like you said, having that ability to come in and rebuild a program was super intriguing, and to see where we are now is awesome.
Well, how did you guys do this? How have you guys gone from a program that won 2 games in a season to becoming one of the top programs, in my opinion? Obviously, SEC was incredible last year, but generally speaking,
Mhm.
year in, year out, Big 12 is the top conference. How did you guys rebuild this program?
Man, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of sticking to the schedule, to the plan. TJ preaches daily habits, um, um, and that's something that's super big for us. Is just getting up. We practice in the morning. He's big on that, just getting up and putting the work in before other players, other teams wake up, and um, he's just big on how you do anything is how you do everything. We keep our culture super tight, super together. Chemistry is a big deal on our team. Just being connected, being one, and going out there. Obviously, it started on the defensive end, as a lot of people have talked about. And I feel like defense is just playing hard. You just got to play harder than the person across from you, and that's what we've done the past couple of years. Is just go out there and just play hard. And we have a great defense, and that was able to lead to offense for us in the earlier stages.
We've already seen what TJ's been able to build so far to this point. Obviously, you still have one more year with him, which we'll touch up on very shortly. But hopefully, I have to imagine he's going to be the coach there for quite some time. When you talk about what he will be able to accomplish by the time he steps away, if he is there his entire career, what do you think this man will be able to bring to Iowa State throughout his entire career there?
Yeah, I mean the ceiling is so high. I mean what he's done in just a few years is amazing, and I think I mean he's a great coach, and he knows how to win games, and that's the most important thing, knowing how to win games, and obviously does a great job recruiting as well. And um, I mean I think he'll be a legend at Iowa State by the time he's done here. With I'm sure he'll have a ton of coaching records, and he'll be that guy in Ames, and I'm super excited to see that future.
All right, so we're going to diverge a little bit because you got into college in a very interesting time. In this entire college career, you've been going through changes, and I'm talking obviously NIL, portal stuff. Now you guys just got implemented on July 1st, the shared revenue aspect. Like there's just all these large scale, some of the biggest changes in college history have all unfolded in your time span. So I want to ask for each of these individually. The first one, NIL. Obviously, get thrown into this where you're being able to be paid. Obviously, it's a massive blessing there. But walk us through that. Just you are thrown into this whole thing. I'm sure you weren't too familiar with it in the beginning. How did you get acclimated, and what's it now been like being a part of the NIL era?
Yeah, it's been a lot coming in. I think maybe my freshman year might have been the first year of
Yep.
NIL, and just not really knowing what it was, what to expect, and where it's at now is completely different than what I think most of us expected when it was first brought back brought in about 4 years ago. But yeah, like you said, it plays a huge factor in college basketball now with that, and then people transfer because of NIL and go to certain schools just because of NIL, and
Yep.
I think that's kind of not necessarily hurting the game, but um, it's not all about money. At the end of the day, you're going to the school to play basketball and win games, and I feel like the programs that focus on that keep basketball the main thing are most successful. But like you said, it's a blessing to have NIL, and if it's here, you might as well take advantage of it
Mhm.
with whatever you can with ads and different companies and like you said, the revenue stuff is new this year as well. So it's been crazy, but it's NIL has been a blessing for us athletes to um, get money for all the hard work that we put in our whole lives. But also now it's not easy in college. It is like you have a job. It's a blessing.
How have you handled the business aspect? Because obviously, like you said, we already talked about everything on your plate right now. Now you're dealing with X amount of money. Obviously, it's pretty sizable, I have to imagine. So you're having all this different stuff you're asked, kind of handling. Is this something where you can hand over to your agent, your parents, whatever it is? Do you have to take care of it yourself? I know each guy's kind of takes a different approach. How have you gone about that aspect?
Yeah, I think it's been a learning process of
All right.
just asking other people how they handle it. But I think I've had a great foundation with my parents, super smart with financials, and so
Mhm.
that made it super easy for me to just ask them. And then obviously they're 5 minutes, 10 minutes from where I live, so that's super convenient as well. I can just go home and ask them, but or financial people, I just ask them, and they kind of help me get connected. So I feel like for the most part, it's really been my family, just talking with them, making sure that we invest money and all the stuff that you do. It's definitely been a priority to be financially smart.
You kind of elaborate a little bit on it, but there obviously has been effects of the NIL era, and that's in regards to the transfer portal. You've been someone to stay loyal, and let's just be honest. I know obviously you could have very well entered your name in the portal, and I'm sure you would have had a lot of money thrown at you, big opportunities thrown at yourself, but you've stayed loyal. Every year you remained at Iowa State. It's a very rare situation in today's world of college basketball. So I have to ask you why. Why did you never entertain going to that, or did you ever even entertain possibly going to the portal and testing what could be out there?
I'd first say just as a college athlete, you're definitely it's intriguing and to want to know how much you can get because obviously, like I said, money doesn't mean everything, but it does help, and you want to get
Mhm.
paid well and all of that. But I think for the most part, I just knew that just keep basketball the main thing, and where I've
Mhm.
been for the past 3 years has done great things for me and also just thinking about in the future, if I grew up in Ames, I want to come back. If I leave, then I won't have that anymore. I won't have that place to come back and be one of those guys that like a George and Yang when they come back, everyone's just following them around and all of that. It's
Mhm.
awesome. So I wanted to be one of those Iowa State legends. So just knowing that where I've been has done great things for me to come back for another year. Obviously, it's about your situation as well. That's where I feel like some people kind of get confused and
Yes.
chase money sometimes. Whereas if you're in a great position, I've started here for 3 years, and you know, Joshua Jefferson as well is back, and I feel like we have a great core. Milan Momcilovic as well. So shout out to those guys and the rest of the team as well. But just a great core, and I feel like it's about basketball. So sometimes you got guys transferring and they go to a team and maybe it doesn't work out. You got all these guys just thinking about money, not thinking about winning games. But Iowa State is a place where obviously we want to do what's best for NIL and get as much as we can. Um, but at the same time, it's about winning games because when you win games, you can increase your NIL and the community just keeps giving and just loves you, and that's what's more important.
All right, the last one in regards to NIL I have to ask you is this. I know college basketball is quite the business behind the scenes. You don't have to list any schools specifically, but has there ever been any interest from other schools reach out to you or your agents or managers, whatever it might have been, about possibly going into and entering into the transfer portal?
And I get that question a lot. I never really had any schools. Maybe it was because they just didn't think I would leave. Um, just because I'm a hometown kid, and that definitely plays a factor. But I know
Right.
that there's other guys out there that their agents get calls from other schools and stuff. But personally, I didn't have any of that. So
All right. Now you talk about being the hometown hero. How special has that been? Being where you've grown up, your hometown, you've become, let's just be honest, you're the hometown hero, you're a star there. How much has this meant to you just embracing and being able to experience this?
I mean, it's a dream come true. I don't take it for granted one bit, because this is what I dreamed of. I dreamed of playing basketball for Iowa State, and now I'm living that dream. Been living it for the past couple of years, but it's just amazing. The love in this community is truly unmatched, and I see that when I just walk on campus or just go to the store or whatever. The love for Iowa State is amazing, and we travel well. Hilton is one of the best place to play. The atmosphere is crazy, but doing all of that in your hometown and having my parents just be right there is made it that much more special. So.
All right, so I brought up the Big 12 a little bit ago. You've been a part of this conference. Night in, night out, you're playing some of the top schools in the entire country. What's it like being a part of this conference?
It's a grind. It definitely is a grind. Um, like you said, one day it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's going to be a tough game, and then a few days later, you're going up against another opponent that's um, highly rated and all of that. But I think it's been great. Obviously, like you said, the SEC was super good last year.
Mhm.
But I think for the most part, the past couple of years, it's been the Big 12.
Yes.
Um, Kansas, Houston, us, Baylor. Now you got BYU's, who's been very good as well, and
Mhm.
teams I'm missing. But like you said, day in and day out, those games are going to be competitive, and you can't take a day off because no team is going to just lay down and let you beat them. And the atmospheres in the Big 12 are tough as well. So you go on a road game, and those crowds are going to let you have it. So that's something that I love about the Big 12.
All right, so to piggyback off what you just said right there, a lot of incredible environments. You can pick any of them, and any of them except for obviously your home place. But any other place in the Big 12, what would be your favorite place to play in?
Whew, favorite place to play in? That's a good one. I'd say I'd say obviously Kansas is a
Yeah.
historical place. I've yet to get a win there. Uh, we're going back there this year, so hopefully this will be the year. Came close a couple years ago, but obviously Houston as well. And then I've only played at BYU one time.
Mhm.
I think we're going back this year, but I think that was my sophomore year, and their crowd was rocking as well. So looking forward to go back there. I mean, that's what it's all about. You don't want to go to a place that doesn't have fans. You want to go somewhere that brings that excitement, that energy, just makes it that much more fun. And stealing one on the road when their fans are just looking sad. That's something that's a lot of fun as well. So,
All right, so what is your favorite game you played in so far? To all the games you've had, what's been your favorite one?
ooh, that's tough. So many games to think about. I'd probably go with the Big 12 championship
Mhm.
2 years ago, beating Houston. Um, it was just one of those games that everything was going right for us. It seemed like every shot was falling. I think we won by 20 plus or whatever, but that Houston team was really, really good. So to be able to do that on that scene and come out of there with the ring was super good because the teams that win Big 12 championships aren't forgotten. So
Mhm.
to stamp our name in Iowa State history was super cool.
All right, so I want to kind of break down year by year so far in your career, going with your freshman season. a very unique opportunity happened. We just talked about the transfer portal, and obviously you were slated to come in, and obviously you could have competed for that spot, but you know you were going to be behind the Big 12 freshman of the year, Tyrese Hunter. He obviously moves on, enters the transfer portal. Now you're kind of thrown right in the pit, and you're saying, okay, you're the guy, you're going to be our point guard now. Walk us through that, because obviously this all kind of transpired in the offseason. When you get this opportunity, did you expect immediately that you were going to be that guy right out the gate, or how did you embrace that role?
Yeah, it was a lot. As a freshman, you kind of don't know what to expect.
Right.
You're just going into college, and you're just going to work hard and try to earn playing time and all of that. But like you said, kind of got thrown into the fire, and it was a blessing. Tyrese obviously left, and then there's a little more behind the scenes. We had a guy, Jeremiah Williams.
Hmm.
Shout out to Jay Will. He's at Georgetown now. Um, he ended up getting hurt, so he was kind of the next one up to play
Right.
those minutes, and he ended up uh, getting hurt and missing the whole year. Um, so that was another step that I kind of had to take, and that's when I really realized that I'm going to be, you know, up there for playing time, and I ended up starting. So I was just going into that summer just going to give everything I had, and um, obviously I earned those minutes, and was able to start as a freshman in the Big 12, which was it was a grind. It was not easy. Didn't really shoot the ball that well my freshman year as well, which adds some tough things to it. But it was a blessing to be able to just be thrown in. I feel like that's when you learn the most. That's when you develop the most.
Yes.
Um, I was just able to learn so much from that year, and all those games I got to play in just made me even better for my sophomore year. And, yeah.
Can you add a little bit more onto the importance of going somewhere you can play? Because I feel like for so many freshmen, and we go to the recruiting process, and they will follow the money, they'll follow whatever it might be. And obviously, you didn't know that opportunity was going to be there originally. You thought you're probably going to compete for some minutes, but still, we know that freshman year, you still were pretty good overall. But in comparison to your sophomore year, obviously, there's night and day difference there. When you
Mhm.
just talk about what you were able to learn that first year, even though it's kind of going trial through fire and kind of figuring things out throughout the season, how much more prepared and better did that make you than heading into your sophomore, junior season, so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, when you get to go out there and play in real games and be on the court, like I said before, that's how you learn the most.
Mhm.
So if you have an opportunity as an incoming freshman to go to a place where you can fight for minutes and not, I mean, if one school is giving you this much money, but you probably won't play, and the next school is giving you a little less, but you got a good opportunity to go in there and play. I mean, it seems like an easy decision for me. I want to play in the games. I want to go play.
Right.
So I just say, if you have an opportunity that you get to go in and be able to earn some minutes, that'll be super important. That'll help you a lot in your career, because just taking that jump from freshman to sophomore year is super important. So if you're able to play as a freshman, even if it's just a few minutes a game, it'll help you develop a lot going into your sophomore year.
When you reflect back on your freshman season, what was the hardest moment, the hardest stretch, like a certain time where you're like, okay, this is getting difficult now. I'm not sure exactly what to do. What would be that most difficult portion of that freshman year?
I'd say there's two key moments that pop into my mind. Um, One of the moments I probably won't ever forget. We were playing at Texas Tech, and I think we were up close to 20 points at like halftime, and then maybe 16 minutes left in the second half. We were still up double digits. Our team ended up turning the ball over quite a bit. Obviously, as a point guard, that's kind of your job, is to handle the ball.
Right.
And in that game, I didn't do a great job of that, and we ended up blowing that 20 plus point lead, whatever it was, and losing that game. And I remember just tearing up in the locker room after that game. Just felt like I let down everybody on the team, and being a freshman, that it hits even harder, because those guys on the team, we had some guys that were some fifth year guys, and so I felt super bad just being a freshman and all of that. But the love I got after that game from Coach TJ and my teammates, it really helped me to bounce back. I think we played Kansas at home a few days later, and I had one of my best games my freshman year. So that just goes to show you're going to have bad games, but you're going to bounce back. So
Mhm.
don't get too low in those moments. But the other point, I was going to talk about was, like I said earlier, I didn't really shoot the ball my freshman year. Wasn't confident at all. Well, it wasn't really my role at first, so I didn't really work on it. Didn't have that confidence to go out there and shoot. Um, so I think I made a handful of threes my freshman year, but by the end of the year, they were just sagging off and guarding me in the paint. That kind of hurt our offense. Weren't able to do some things that we wanted to do. So not being able to shoot confidently also kind of played a factor in that freshman year was tough to handle as well.
All right, so we head into that sophomore season and sticking on the 3-point percentage aspect, it completely jumps a ton. I want to ask about that. Was that something that all of a sudden was more of a confidence aspect? Was it more just putting the work in? Like what caused that jump from where you were as a freshman to all of a sudden becoming a legitimate threat now from the 3-point line your sophomore season?
I think it, for the most part, was confidence. A little bit technical stuff. Just really broke down my shot from just balance wise to form shots to scooting back slowly. But for the first couple of weeks, I worked with Coach Crawford. Crawford, shout out to him. For the first couple of weeks, we didn't even really shoot a jump shot. I was just at the rim, just working on form, balance, getting my feet right, and all of that. And then as we got on week by week, started to do a little more, move farther back, all of that. But it was a long process, and finally felt confident in my shot after months of working on it with him. And going into my sophomore year, I was feeling completely different from my freshman year. Going in with that confidence in my shot, and like you said, the percentage jump was a pretty big jump, and
Mhm.
it felt great after that freshman year. Felt really good going into that sophomore year.
All right, so when did you realize you were going to have that good of a year? Because you could make a legitimate debate that you probably should have been an All-American team that year. You obviously were an honorable mention there, but you were one of the top players, not just in the Big 12. We're talking the entire country now. When did you start to realize that you were able to play at that high of a level?
I think just competing in the Big 12. I think
Okay.
that year especially was. I think the Big 12 was at the top. We were the best conference for sure.
Hmm.
And going against Jamal Shed, we had some good matchups. I feel like just he was a great player, and we kind of had a similar style game. But just competing against guys like him, I feel like I just went out there when I was able to compete with them and win those games. I knew that I was able to be where I was that year, and I didn't have any doubts in my abilities to perform in our team as well. And our team was great that year, and that obviously goes to show. We had great individual players, but great team players. We came together super well. That was one of the closest knit teams I've ever been on, and that's why I think we won so many games. Um, but I'd say competing in the Big 12 and having those games where you have good performances, because you're playing against the best teams in the country. So that's how I knew that I was up there.
Okay, so you end up having shoulder surgery right after the season, or at least sometime in the off season there. So I'm curious. I know that obviously kind of lingered a little bit into last or throughout last season, but when you obviously dealt with that, was that something that happened in the season? Did it happen out of the season, or what caused and when did this whole shoulder issue start?
Yeah, it happened. We were talking about when we played at BYU. It was actually that game my sophomore year. It
Okay.
was kind of in the middle of conference play, um, so towards the back end of the year. But just felt my shoulder kind of slide out, and um, so it sublexed and it went back in. But it just kept doing that throughout the rest of the year, just sliding out and coming back in. And but I was able to play, which was super awesome to just play through that. But at the end of the year, got it checked and realized that we should probably get it fixed, and you don't want that to keep happening. So had surgery, and yeah,
Did it linger on a little bit longer than you even expected, or how would you say the recovery process went then?
I'd say it was about 3 to 4 months recovery. For the first month, you're literally in a. I was in a sling, couldn't use my arm at all, which was tough.
Hmm.
But actually, it didn't really linger once we got to preseason and playing games that next year. But early in the season, I ended up landing on my this same shoulder in practice, It wasn't related to my labrum at all, which is what I
Okay.
had surgery on. But it was an AC joint, so it was like up
Hmm.
here. I had a grade 2 AC joint sprain, and that was kind of when early in the season when we went to Maui and played in those games. So I was actually getting injections before all. I mean, we played 3 games back to back to back in Maui, playing great teams. So that was tough because my shoulder was not in great shape when we were down there. So that's kind of what was lingering in the first half of the season, but it wasn't related to my surgery.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
would you say that shoulder, at least, hopefully, God willing, it's 100% now? How does it feel knowing that you're finally at a position where hopefully nothing's going on up there now?
No, no, it feels great going to just where we're at right now and getting closer and closer to season. But not just my shoulder, but my whole body feeling healthy.
Hmm.
Really just trying to take a step and focusing on my body and what I'm putting in, what I'm eating, getting enough sleep, doing enough recovery and stuff. Just putting more of a focus on that, so I can go out there and play.
All right, so I know we touched up on the injuries. We just kind of followed up on the shoulder aspect, but as we talked about, injured shoulder, thumb, groin, all this stuff's going out the duration of the season. Yet your team still goes 25-10. You weren't the only guy hurt. There's a lot of injuries and stuff going on in this locker room last year too. But I want to start off with yourself specifically. How did you do it? You didn't miss the games. You still were out there playing through all these different things. In today's era, a lot of guys would be sitting out taking breaks. Obviously, that's not Tamin Lipsey. So why? Why did you continue to try pushing through that all year long?
Yeah, I mean, that's just who I am as a player, as a person. I mean, I wanted to be out there playing. If I didn't need to sit out, I'm not going to sit out. And I was able to still go out there and perform. Didn't perform 100%,
Sure.
but just being out there, having an impact on the game, being a reason why we can still win games and have a good year was super important to me. I didn't want to give up on my teammates and coaches and any of that. So if I was able to play, the doctor said I'm good. I'm good. So just going out there and trying to win those games.
You also talked about the injections. Was that something that only lasted during Maui, or was that something that had to last majority of the season last year?
Yeah, it was just the Maui to because it was literally the AC joint thing was literally like a day before we left.
Okay.
So it was right before we started playing. So just trying to get through those games and compete down there. That's really what it was for.
And then for the team as a whole, so many different things, illnesses, injuries, so many things compiled up on this roster, and you guys still had a great year. But I think we all know that if you guys were healthy, obviously going only to the second round of the NCAA tournament probably would have been a little bit deeper run for you guys. But when you look at that team, how frustrating is it as a locker room when you keep looking at you guys, knowing how good you guys could be, but just you guys are not able to go out there and prove it?
Yeah, it was super tough because I mean you can't do anything about injuries.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just happen. We had multiple guys, like you said, that were battling injuries through that whole year, and we just kept going out there and playing in games. And like you said, 25 wins. It's still a great season,
Definitely.
but like I think we're started off the season ranked maybe fifth or something, but was ranked number 2 for a long time, and then had some injuries happen and some other things, but um, sort of fell off towards the end of the year, which was tough. Not to be playing your best basketball in March because that's when you really want to be playing your best. So we knew we could have made a farther run, and at this point, it really doesn't matter what you say because the season's over, and there's always what if this, what if that. But the season's over now, and we didn't have a terrible year though.
Right.
I feel like people expect us to do definitely more than what we were able to do. But still, when you look back at the whole year, we had a good year.
All right, so I have to ask about one moment. I have to imagine it was probably one of the highlights of last season. You go out there and you break Monte Morris's career steal record. Remember, you're only a junior. You still have a whole other year to add on to that record now. But you break a really great record by one heck of a all-time great Iowa State point guard. What did that moment mean to you?
Oh, it meant a lot. I take a lot of pride in defense, and
Hmm.
that's sort of where I lay my hat at on that side of the ball. And so being able to break that record in only my junior year was awesome. So just trying to expand that, get as many as I steals as many steals as I can to make it hard for the next person to break it. But I remember that. Pretty sure it was at Houston.
Mhm.
Pretty sure I remember the play as well. But I won't forget that one. So it's cool to see my name in the history books.
So did you know, kind of have a tracker in the back of your mind then of how many steals away you were from the record, so you knew when you were going to break it then?
A little bit, you have your parents. For me, it's my dad. That's always
Okay.
just hinting at things. He doesn't want to get too involved. He wants to let me play basketball and handle everything. But as a dad, he's super interested and wants me to go and do those things. So he was kind of hinting at it. So I knew I was close for sure.
All right. Well, the end of the season ends up happening. Obviously, you guys go home second round. Josh was on a little bit ago, and he kind of talked about that he knew he was going to return at that moment in time. How about for yourself? When this all happens, did you know, okay, I'm coming back to Iowa State no matter what? I'm not going to go NBA. I'm not going to do anything. I'm coming back to Iowa State to take a little bit more time. And when did you know that I'm coming back for my senior year?
Yeah, I think I knew right away.
Okay.
With obviously I had a good idea that Joshua was thinking the same thing, and got Milan Momcilovic, so Nate Heisey and Kate Kellerman. Those are the guys that we still have
Mhm.
from last year's team. So just bringing back this core group, we knew that we could, have another great year and do even better for the year that I would kind of call a letdown and for us. But just coming back together and then bringing in the transfers and the freshmen and obviously that. So yeah, I'd say right after the season, I knew.
When we look at it for yourself, you obviously are coming off of an injury-riddled season your junior year. That sophomore year was special, and obviously when you talk about usage rating, I don't know if that was in large part because you guys had so many great guards with Curtis and Keyshawn, also the injuries factoring in. But just on paper, we know that the usage rating will probably be up a lot, probably possibly even the most in your entire career this upcoming year. As you look at that, expectations that you're going to be one of the best point guards, if not even the best point guard in the nation. What do you want to prove this year? What is the statement? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to get done in this senior year for it to be a successful final year of college basketball for you?
Yeah, first and foremost, just win as many games as we can.
Mhm.
Make a deep run in the tournament. Hopefully, compete for another Big 12 championship. Those are the team goals, and um, obviously, you have individual goals as well. I want to go out there and perform as well as I can, and I think just taking a step up from my sophomore year is what I'm looking to do, just in every category. Just being a better playmaker, a better scorer, better defensively. Um, like you said, with the usage rate, it'll probably be different, a lot higher than it was. So just taking advantage of that, and so just increasing, shooting the ball well. But on top of that, just taking care of the ball. I want to take pride in my assist to turnover, being a point guard. That's super important, and that can help you um, at the next level when you're trying to play professionally. So I know that that's important for me as well.
Coach TJ had a quote about you. I don't know exactly when it was. It was sometime in the past couple of months. He said this: "I'm confident Tamin Lipsey is going to have a season like he did as a sophomore." Do you think that's an accurate statement, or do you think you could even surpass what you were able to accomplish in your sophomore year?
Yeah, I think I'll surpass it.
Okay.
I'm feeling great about how I'm playing, how my body feels, and I just think I've gotten better from that year and last year as well. I just think I'm at my best that I've ever been as a basketball player, and got great teammates around me to help me perform, but help us perform as a team as well. It's super important. So I'd say definitely, yeah.
All right, so that obviously would mean that would probably and should make you an All-American this coming season. So my next question I have to ask you then is your 5 goals for the season. They can be a combination of team, player, whatever it is. What are your 5 biggest goals for your final year of college basketball?
Whew, I'd say another Big 12 championship.
Hmm.
That was a super special moment. I'd like to do that again. Um, Another goal, probably make another deep run in the tournament. I really want to go farther than the Sweet 16.
All right.
It's been a while since an Iowa State team has gone past that mark, so that's been a goal of mine as well. Um, Besides that, probably another all defensive Big 12. Take a lot of pride in my defensive abilities. Um, so maybe defensive player as well. It was me, Jamal Shed, I think Ryan Kolkbrenner. There's a couple more guys, but that sophomore year I was sort of in the finalists for that.
Hmm.
Came up a little short, but that's um, a big one as well. And then Big 12 Player of the Year is another goal I'd like to shoot for. And I think I can accomplish all of those if I just go out there and then trust my teammates, trust my work, and trust God. Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, I got a couple questions before I let you go. One of which is talking about this team. I don't know what the rankings will be yet. Top 25 seems to be a lock for you guys, at least it should be. You guys have a great group of guys returning. You've added in some great transfers, freshmen, all these different aspects, and you've been a part of great teams. You've been a part of a team that only won 19 games your first year. You've been a part of teams that's gone to the Sweet 16. You've been a part of 25 plus win teams. How special is this team in comparison to what you've already experienced in college basketball?
Yeah, I think this team is um, different. I think each year I've been at Iowa State, we've had a different team, and that's what's so cool about college basketball is every year is changing.
Mhm.
But this team is super unique with the freshmen that we got that they've really impressed me in the summer and now in the fall with their abilities to just come in and listen and work their butt off and super excited to see those freshmen get an opportunity, and then the transfers as well. I won't take time to talk about all of them because it might take a while, but they're going to have a great impact. And I feel like we got a great team it's going to be one of those teams that just comes together, molds together. Guys have their roles and they do their roles to the best of their ability, and that just helps the team grow because sometimes you get on teams where guys don't have a role; they're kind of just going out there and playing. Normally, those teams don't do so well. But an obvious example is like Golden State, where you have Draymond Green. He's one of the best role players I think
Mhm.
anyone's ever seen. He does his job, and that's what you need in basketball. You need guys that know their job and they're going to do their job. So I think we got guys that know their job and that they're going to do their job, and we're going to mold great as a team. And I don't think we're not going to be the most star-studded team. People aren't going to look at us, and I feel like they'll definitely will be underrated. But we got guys that work hard, and I'm super excited for it.
All right, well, that role player aspect actually transitions to the last topic I want to get into with you, and that is NBA. Obviously, that's going to be beyond this year, so it's not something that's probably on your mind too much. But you mentioned some guys, and I feel like there's always a situation in the NBA where it's not always just about the guys that can go score 100 points in a game. You're talking about the guys that can obviously go out there and play a role, and there's many guys that are very similar to you. When you talk about guys that come to mind, Jose Alvarado, he's panned out, done a great job. Jamal Shed, who we've already talked about, Monte Morris, the man you broke the record of. These guys that aren't necessarily the biggest, most athletic guards in the world, but they know how to play defense. They know how to play their role. I personally feel like you could fit that mold quite well. When you talk about just kind of getting yourself ready for the NBA, are those guys you kind of have that you kind of take pieces from, or what do you expect and what do you want to improve on to get ready to hopefully make the NBA dream come true?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a super realistic guy. Some players talk about I want to be like Kevin Durant. I play like him, and sometimes they really don't play like him at all. But I'm super realistic. I know that I'm gonna have to have one of those roles, like one of those guys you said.
Mhm.
Um, just being one of those guards that takes care of the ball, knows how to distribute it, and plays defense and just one of those guys that you can't take off the court because they help you win games.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing is winning games, and I feel like I'm one of those players that just knows how to go out there and win a game.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that not everyone has, and I definitely look at those guys that are similar to my size and just learn from them what they're doing because I know that I won't be a guy in the NBA that if I get the opportunity, I'm not going to be a guy that's shooting 30 shots a game. I'm going to be one of those guys that has a role and is going to do his job. And I think just having that realistic mindset. Obviously, you want to have the most confidence in the world,
Sure.
but at sometimes you got to be realistic with yourself and know what's going to make you successful.
Mhm.
So I'd say yeah, that's super important.
I love that. Taman, I got one final question for you. It's the way I like wrapping up every interview, and that's talking about your legacy. Obviously, I'm just going to be a two-part question. The first one is this. When you're done with Iowa State in 1 year from now, what do you want to be remembered for what you've accomplished both on and off the court at Iowa State? And in the greater scheme of things, when you're done playing basketball, what do you want to be remembered for what you've done and brought to the sport both on and off the court at large?
I'd say I just want to be remembered as one of the greatest Iowa State basketball players of all time. One of those guys that was there from the beginning and stayed all 4 years and was able to make an impact on the team, win a lot of games, break some records, and just do great things for Ames and the community. And on top of that, just being one of those guys that it's more than just about basketball. It's about the community, just getting out, interacting with them. We have great fans, so it's super easy to do. But just going out, interacting with fans, meeting fans, just being one of those guys that's super well liked. Everyone just wants to be around you. I mentioned George Yang earlier. Tyrese Halliburton is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that they come back and everyone gets excited. Everyone's excited that they're coming back, and that's because of what they did here on the court, but off the court as well. Just being who they are as a human, and knowing that I can impact people's lives um, on the court, but off the court as well. Knowing that I'm a role model for some of those little kids that are watching Iowa State basketball. That's something that I genuinely um, it means a lot because I was one of those kids that was looking up to those players. So just realizing that and knowing that I can have an impact basketball wise, but just as a person as well. So I think that's what's super important for me in my legacy.
I love that, Taman. Well, Taman, thank you so much for taking time to come on in, man. It's been a blessing and honor having you back on here, and I cannot wait to see what God's got in store for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
God bless.
I appreciate you guys all for tuning into the interview. I have this clipped up, edit, and then posted on my YouTube channel very shortly. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will be back live tomorrow. I'll announce the time later on, but hope you guys have a great rest of your guys' night. May God bless you guys all, and God bless you guys. SchuZ out.